What is up, everybody? I'm Get Flanked, and Valorant is the most polished and well thought out video game I have ever played. Now, this does not mean that Valorant is a perfect game, not by a long shot. And there are certainly going to be people that don't enjoy playing Valorant, and I get that. I'm not saying from a stylistic standpoint that it's the best game ever, and that everybody should enjoy it. People enjoy different aspects of different games, and some people are just not going to enjoy Valorant. I get it. That's not the point I'm trying to make here, okay? But I think when you look at Valorant from a quality of life standpoint, from a features standpoint, from a UI standpoint, it is the most well thought out game that I have ever played, at least when it comes to an online FPS game. The big feeling that I get when playing this game and looking at the UI design, the features design, the quality of life, the character design, and everything is that the people making this game get it. They get it. They know what it's like to spend a lot of time in a game. They know what type of features really make people enjoy the game. Not talking about, how strong this gun is or how strong this character is, but just like the quality of life features needed to really maximize enjoyment out of a game. It just feels like they really get it. As most of you are probably aware, I spend a lot of time playing Rainbow Six Siege as well. That's my other favorite FPS shooter. And the difference from a quality of life standpoint and how well Valorant is thought out compared to Rainbow Six Siege is night and day. And it should be. This isn't a knock on Rainbow Six Siege. Rainbow Six Siege was released 6 years ago. And Valorant has the advantage of being only a year old at this point and learning from all of the mistakes that other FPS games made. Valorant learned from all that and incorporated a lot of those things into the game to eliminate some of those same mistakes. But I don't think that should take away from Valorant either. There are a lot of games that have been released in the last year, 2 years, that aren't nearly as well thought out and as polished as Valorant is. And I think Riot deserves a lot of credit for that. I would be willing to bet there's going to be a lot of games released over the next couple years that from a quality of life standpoint will not be as player friendly as what Valorant is right now. And again, that's a testament to the dev team that worked on Valorant and how well thought out it is. So what exactly do I mean by well thought out? Well, I'll give you, a couple of examples right now. First of all, the ability to adjust the volume of individual players on your team. That's pretty amazing. I've never played another game that can do that. And, the ability to just adjust the volume of one player. They've got a loud mic. You can just slide them down a little bit. Now, I realize that this feature wasn't working correctly until very recently, but the fact that it's there and it is working correctly now, that's amazing. That is a great feature. You've got a practice range that actually works. You've got different game modes that get cycled in over time. You've got an anti-cheat that was designed with the game from the ground up. Again, not saying it's perfect and that there's no cheaters in the game, but when you compare the state of cheating in Valorant to other games, especially other FPSs like Siege, Warzone, stuff like that, it's very clear that Valorant is doing a much better job. Look at the amount of information you get after death, how much damage you did, where your bullets landed, how much damage your gadgets did. All of that stuff is amazing. And I can't think of another game that does all of that stuff as well. From a character design standpoint, it really shines as well. And this is a little bit more debatable. I'm not saying the game is perfectly balanced. There are some outliers there, sure. But look at Raze as an example and compare the design of Raze to other hero shooters. It's like you could look at 1,000 other hero shooters and find a character that's got grenades, C4, a rocket launcher, and maybe the bot that she has is pretty unique to Valorant, but still something like that, okay? But in Valorant, the whole kit synergizes together, okay? You've got the C4s that you can use to boost you up and use in combination with your ult, which is the rocket launcher, to get different angles and to use it more effectively. You can use the C4 in combination with that bot to get that bot into places. You can use the C4 in combination with teammates to get your teammates up and play. Like, all of it synergizes together so well. They don't stop at just making a hero that's got C4, rocket launcher, grenades. They wanted to take it to the next level and really provide a depth where, you don't just use the C4 to get kills. you can learn how to use the C4 in specific situations to manipulate the map and, you know, to give yourself an advantage. And that's really what I look at whenever I see character design in Valorant, is just a layer of depth that I don't see in many other hero shooters. I was trying to think the other day if I have ever actually experienced like a traditional glitch or bug in Valorant, and I don't know that I have. I'm not saying that my game's never crashed in Valorant, stuff like that, sure. And I've heard, you know, of different people saying that that Valorant doesn't get along with their PC. I've heard stories like that. I've read the reports where, you know, they're fixing different bugs and stuff at all times. But as far as what I've experienced, I can't remember a single bug that I've ever experienced in game, especially not one that's altered the course of the round. And, you know, you compare that to Siege, where how many times have you gone through a rotate and it's rubber banded you? How many times have you had Hibana pellets not explode? Again, I'm not trying to tear down Siege here. I'm just saying it's pretty amazing at how polished Valorant is. You know, even clipping. I'm trying to think of many times I've seen like a character model clip through a wall and stuff. Like that stuff exists in pretty much every single FPS I've ever played. And I don't know that I've ever encountered that in Valorant. And again, you know, you can look at the patch notes and you can see there definitely are bugs in this game. There are things that they're fixing all the times, but it's so rare for me to encounter something that I can't actually remember one off the top of my head. And then I'm starting to think about like, what are some features in this game that I think are missing, or like quality of life things that could be improved. And like, you know, one thing that comes to mind, I would like the ability to mute people in the, you know, character selection screen. I think that there's probably a design choice there that if you're muting people then maybe you would be better off to dodge. Like, I think that might be the decision behind that. But sometimes, especially as a streamer, whenever you get into that screen, it would be nice to be able to mute people immediately, especially in unrated. Like in that situation, I could see like that feature being there. You know, I think that a 5v5 queue needs to come, and they're saying they're working on it. They're saying that that's coming to the game eventually. They're going to have a 5v5 queue. But yeah, I mean, really beyond that, I can't think of like a situation in the game where I'm like, we really need this. And if you have something that you're thinking of right now, let me know. Like, I'm sure that there are people who have ideas on how to improve Valorant. But I just sit back and I kind of like, I sit in awe of how well thought out Valorant is. And it really shines for me, a player that's been playing FPSs for a very long time, somebody who, you know, goes back to the old school of gaming where you didn't have any of these features. And like I mentioned Siege a couple of times, it wasn't abnormal for games to launch without these quality of life things that I'm mentioning. And the fact that they are being introduced in more and more games now is a testament to how far we've come as gamers. And also, it's not a given that these features are going to be included in games, if that makes sense at all, right? So I just, you know, hats off to Valorant, hats off to the dev team for making such a well thought out game, for, you know, striving to continually improve it. And again, I'm not saying that Valorant is perfect, but it is the most polished FPS game that I've ever played. And I don't really think that's debatable, in my opinion. So let me know what you guys think down below. What are some ideas for how they could improve it? What are some things that stand out to you as far as features that you really enjoy about Valorant? I didn't even mention half of the features that are pretty amazing about this game. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please let me know by liking and subscribing, and I will see you on the next one.